Today we're going to talk about some MMA grappling stuff, some fighting grappling. You could use it in a fight or an MMA situation. We're going to be playing around with an overhook and setting up a triangle from this position. This is my lovely assistant, Mr. Adam Wilson. Let's get started.
Hey guys, so I've gotten some requests to do some MMA style grappling. A lot of you guys know that I fought for a number of years. I fought from 2006 to 2012. And so I fought for a number of years before I, focused just on jiu-jitsu. And so there's some different stuff that I like to do. I figure I'd start showing with you guys on the channel. First thing we're gonna do here today is, or the thing I'm gonna show you today is a sequence from the guard. If you wanna see it in action, there's a really good example of it. You'll see it used a lot, different parts of it, but there's a really good example that's almost exactly what I'm gonna show you right now that was used, I think it was like an old IFC fight organization, if I'm correct, and I think it was Forrest Griffin versus Chael Sonnen way back in the day. So Chael Sonnen had got on top of his opponent, obviously, because he's a good wrestler, and then he was working from here. So let's talk about it. First thing that we're going to do is we're going to secure an overhook here. So we're going to break posture down. I'm going to get an overhook and a grip on the head here, and I'm going to stay very tight. I like the overhook better than the underhook, because the underhook, his hand can get on the inside here, and he can start to push and pry against me and even elbow me. Like, I used to do this a lot. I would take, if the person put an underhook here, I would put my fist right here in the neck, and then I would let the fist slide to the side, and boom, elbow the person right to the side. So elbows, or the underhook, I don't really like it that much. Overhook there, we can stay tight to him, and then we've got to be careful about this hand. So we're going to do two things on it. One is I'm going to get very tight head-to-head position, pull him down, and then this hand can start to fight on the inside here. So it's going to be very difficult for him, and then especially when we add this angle in here, it's going to be very difficult for him to get a good clean punch on me, okay? Now what we're going to be doing here is we're going to be attacking here. We have a threat that we could set up like from omoplata or whatever. If it's a fight, you can even start to like push and elbow someone depending on what kind of rules you're fighting under, right? You can even punch a little bit. And then from here, what we're looking for is we're looking for this person to begin to push or to pull this hand back. Because a lot of times people want to start to try to pull, and they would like to try to come up here, boom, get a punch in, get an elbow, whatever. And so what we're doing is we're going to keep some contact here. Now with the gloves on that you would have when you're fighting, you can actually get a really good snag on this hand here. And then with, obviously, if we were just practicing with a fist, we would just grab the wrist here. But as he begins to pull back, right here, we'll have an opening here. And we can go for this triangle position. And then from there, we can finish a triangle. Obviously, like in a fight situation, we can begin to elbow the person before we go for our finish here. But that's the sequence. Let's look at it from a couple of angles here. So again, first things first, I don't want to be sitting here. And again, if it's a fight situation, you're not like hanging out in this mid-range like you do in jiu-jitsu. Because as far as like when you're fighting with grappling, we either need to be really close or really far away. So you either need to be making a lot of space and putting things in between to control the distance, or we need to get that person in really tight here and stay tight. Now again, I like the overhook instead of the underhook. I'm staying ear to ear with the person, staying tight to him until I can make this angle here. Now, the leg's gonna go over top. This foot, I'd like to have it on the hip over top on this other side. I'll show you the angle in just a second. And then from here, I want to take this hand and get it on the inside of his bicep. And as he starts trying to pull away, I can get some control of his wrist here. And when I feel the ability to do so, start to lock into this triangle and begin to attack that. Let's look at it one more time from this angle over here. So again, breaking posture down, getting tight, staying with the person. We're gonna make our angle. Once we get this angle here, it's gonna be difficult for him to get a good clean punch, because even if I didn't get a good grip on this hand, if he tried to punch me, I can extend away using this foot that's over here on the hip and this position here. But we're gonna say he starts to raise up on us, he's trying to pull, make that space, pull in. And if you are having trouble with this, use this calf to bite so that you're not using really any, there's no weight on this hip over here on the bottom. So I lift up, and it allows me to move that
a little bit. So that is a little MMA or fighting sequence you could use with your grappling. Obviously, you could use it if it was a fight situation where someone was trying to punch you, but obviously, it was something that I did specifically for MMA. And I didn't necessarily use that sequence, but there were a few times where I was on my back and I was able to play with that underhook, or excuse me, that overhook and the head position and start to attack the neck for guillotines or even use it to stand up. So that is a tip for you guys. If you have any questions about MMA stuff, or if you'd like to see more stuff like that, let me know. And I can add that into the mix of jiu-jitsu stuff that I normally do. But I'm finished. Hopefully that helps you guys. Adam?
Adam.